with yesterday's Paint and Talk, I discussed a topic that was like definitely a little bit outside my comfort zone, just in terms of like execution, you know, definitely a little bit bigger than I'm used to trying. And, you know, because of that, I wouldn't say I loved how it came out. Obviously, it's important because you've got to do that. That's how you grow. That's how you get better at things. So I'm happy I did it. But with that being said, I do think that today, because I want to come here, I want to discuss a topic that's just, well, not even discuss a topic. I just want to do something a little bit more fun, a little bit less serious. I just want to do a check-in with you all. It's been a while since I've done one of these. It's, I think, 82, maybe? 83 was the last Paint and Talk, where I just came here and was like, talking about how I've been doing, asking you guys how you've been doing. I think it's important to do. I don't like doing these too often, because I think the series could very easily just turn into like, I mean, it'd be so much easier, right, if I just came here every day and was like, I went to the bank the other day and they said, you know, your account's closed and I'm sad. You know what I mean? Like, it could just turn so easily into that. I'm not having financial troubles. That first point might have really suggested that I'm having financial troubles. That's just what came out of my head for some reason. But, you know, I think this series is always like 2 minutes away from turning into just a ton of meta talk. Just me talking only to you guys about things that only you will understand as people who watch this series a little bit more than everybody else, you know? And I don't like doing that. I don't know. I like to make things open. My least favorite thing is when you click on something on the internet and it has the vibe of like the school lunch table of the cool kids looking at you of like, you don't get what's going on here, right? Like, I don't like pretentious stuff like that. As much as this, I think that's one of the funniest things actually, because people see like this series and they see that like, you know, I try to talk about a lot more philosophical topics and like it should be, I feel like, a very pretentious thing. Like, I feel like I need like a wine glass and a cigar to do this series, you know what I mean? My friends in my own personal life always joke too about like how how I have the most pretentious taste in like art or whatever, which, I mean, I don't think so, but like I feel like I actually feel like a fraud sometimes because of that. This is weird. It's a weird thing I have where like, I don't think I have highbrow enough taste. Like, my friends, a lot of them listen to only like really indie music, and then I'm sitting there listening to like basic pop music because I like a lot of that stuff. I like, you know, I think rap, rock, and pop are my three biggest genres. I mean, I speak for everybody, right? I guess some people like country now more so, but you'll never catch me dead listening to country music. Just not my thing personally. Not by a long shot, I mean. It's probably my least favorite thing, actually, for being honest with you all. But my friends listen to like so much more indie music than me, and I'm always like, man, like, with how into art I am, I feel like I should be like tapped into everything, and I'm just not at all. I have such basic taste in movies, and like, I still love the Marvel movies. Like, I still love just watching all that stuff. You know what I mean? I love a good basic action movie. I love comic books. And like, I feel like as somebody who is, I don't know, I hate saying I'm an artist because it sounds pretentious, but somebody who does make stuff, somebody who's a little bit more creative, I feel like it's like I should be watching like only silent French films from the 30s because that's what artists do. That's a big trap to fall into. I think that's this could be a whole Paint Talk in its own right, is like people all the time fall into doing the aesthetics of something rather than actually doing that thing. And so many things, especially on the internet now, with how the internet works, are turning into like all stick, no carrot. You know what I mean? It's just all sort of, what does this thing look like? How can I capture this vibe? Like, there's this brand I always get on social media is advertised to me that's like trying to kind of capture a 1930s look of like polos and cropped tees and, you know, cropped Detroit jackets and very much like James Dean, Rebel Without a Cause kind of stuff. I don't even know when that movie came out. I think that was the 50s, but you know what I mean? They're trying to be they're trying to do a throwback thing, capitalize on the whole old money revival that's going on. And I think it's so weird how that's like everything now. You know what I mean? Everything is just an aesthetic. It's all just a core. it almost feels like we're all just LARPing all the time with everything in our lives, and there's nothing real left anymore. That, I don't know. This is supposed to be a check-in. I'm not supposed to be getting this deep on you guys. But, like, it really does disturb me sometimes, because, like, if this is where we are now, by the time I'm in my late 30s, you know, supposed to be in my peak of, like, artistic, being the best I am at creating stuff, and you know, my 30s where I'm supposed to be, like, have the most autonomous, like, when I'm a real adult. Obviously, I'm an adult now, but I'm not a real adult, you know, I'm still figuring my things out. I'm still making videos on the internet. Can you really be a real adult doing that? I do think sometimes, like, by the time I'm really there as a real adult, will there be anything left? Will there be culture to participate in? Like, I don't know. I think that's why I am so passionate about this series, because I do try and make this feel like something real. You know what I mean? I mean, there's definitely a ton of aesthetic that comes along with this whole thing. I think in a sense you could make the argument I'm definitely pitching the idea of creating art more so than I am actually making it. We've all seen some of these paintings and thought, damn, he phoned it in today. But, so I think there's an argument there that I do definitely am somebody who is a perpetuator of this just as much as I am somebody that dislikes it, you know? I mean, sometimes I come here and I paint and I talk about a fairly in-depth topic, but I'm just painting a circle. And I don't like that. You know, I hope someday I'd love this series to be able to be, more than anything, like, real. You know what I mean? I think a lot of things are now LARPing, and I think that's good in a sense because it's opened the field where everybody feels like they can do everything. But I also want to make sure that I'm not somebody who, I don't want to be a role player. I want to be faking it till I make it. Does that make sense? And I think we're missing a lot of that. I think that's what I'm saying, like, a lot of things are all carrot, no stick, because they are. You know, you're getting a lot of people doing these cool things, but they're just kind of pitching the aesthetic of it. The biggest example that comes to mind of this is, like, that whole alpha male space is just people who are dressing up in tight suits and going around into rented cars acting like they're rich. And it's like, if you guys have ever met somebody rich, you know that that's not what they do. You know what I mean? It's all just an aesthetic they're serving. None of them are really living that life. They just have enough money to rent something. And I'm so scared that this becomes that. And I think it's fine for now. You know, there's a sense in which I'm only, 5 months into this? You know, I mean, I think I've progressed enough in some aspects of it, and, like, I do want to be, you know, I'm still kind of finding my footing in a lot of ways. You gotta be bad at something before you're good at it, that's for sure. But my biggest fear is that I'm still sitting here in a year or two doing this, maybe, and I don't have anything to show for it except for the fact that I've uploaded a bunch of videos. And I'm not even saying I hope I have a huge subscriber count or anything. That's not what I mean at all. I mean in terms of, like, at what point, you know, every Paint and Talk, I go, I'm a person that creates things. I hate using the word artist for myself. At what point will I feel comfortable using that word? You know? And I do think I'm an artist, but I don't think I have the right to call myself it. I think I'm an artist in the same way that all of us are artists whenever we start a conversation. But I hate that's all I can say without feeling awkward and feeling the need to preface, you know? And that's where I think Paint and Talk, I do it partially in a selfish desire to someday hope that I can find a way to call myself an artist, you know? Maybe this series is just that. I am thinking, in other news, if you guys have been watching since the start, you know I've always said that this is probably gonna be like a 1 year thing. Like, I was probably just planning on doing this for a year. And I was gonna, more so that was always meant to be like, I'm gonna test trial it for a year. And full disclosure, when I started this, I was thinking I'll test it. If enough people watch, I'll keep doing it. That was gonna be my metric when I started. I mean, of course, this is all dependent on how my life goes in the next years. You know, a terrible thing could happen. I cannot continue Paint and Talk. But the more I think about it, and the more I do feel fulfilled from doing this, I do think I'd like to continue this series indefinitely. That's just the way I'm feeling right now. Because I do think even if it's not... Listen, I have over 1,000 subscribers right now. Better than I could have ever imagined this series would do this fast. I'm so grateful. Thank you to each and every one of you. But I'm fine if I'm sitting here in 3 years still painting to just you guys. You know what I mean? Like, growth is great. I hope I grow in size because that's so cool. So, it's never a bad feeling to gain a subscriber. You know, obviously it's a feeling of having somebody else go, I like this guy enough to keep watching. I think it feels great. But I really am okay if things just continue as they are, because I don't know, I think there's an element of this that's more fulfilling than just the views and the numbers that come with it. I think, which have been awesome, by the way. You guys have supported this in a way that I've never seen. Like, I've never had anything be supported before. I'm so grateful, obviously. And I'm going to keep saying that, no matter how many times I say it. But I do feel there's an aspect of it to me that's like, this is just a genuinely fulfilling thing. Like, I feel like I'm developing personally here more than anything else. And I hope you guys, not personally on camera, like, I'm not saying like, oh, I've gotten so much better at painting and talking. Maybe a little bit better at talking, to be fair. I feel more natural than I did when I started this, but I more so mean just growing. It's another word I hate using, in a spiritual sense, though. I feel like that's what I've gained out of this more than anything else. Now I have to do the part of this where I trim down the circle into a more solid shape. Guys, I gotta say, for Paint and Talk episode 125, I fucked this sphere up. This does not look good. Like, this is not a... Okay, so this is the thing that I've always thought about. As much as I like doing these every 25 days as a check-in for progress, there's also something bad about that, because what if you have a bad day? And guys, we're here. I'm having a bad day with this sphere. I mean, this does not look good. This is just straight terrible. Like, this is a terrible sphere. It's more of like, you know, when you get like a bean bag? It looks like a bean bag. Yeah, this is a bean bag. This isn't a sphere. Terrible today. I've also, over the last like week or so, been struggling. I've had like allergies going on over here, so I'm sorry about that. I've not wanted to draw attention to it explicitly because I feel like, again, I don't want to start every Paint and Talk going, I have an eye that's slightly puffy, I'm sorry. You know, that'd be weird too. But and for some of you that have been noticing, yeah, I do have a little puffy eye situation going on, but yeah, that was the check-in today. That's just how I've been feeling about Paint and Talk, about the series, how I've been doing in my own personal life a little bit. I think I said in there too, maybe, I don't know. The bank shut down my account, so no, but yeah, really, this is the painting. Thank you all so much for watching. This is sort of an impromptu thank you for 1,000 subs too, because first time I've mentioned it, so thank you all for 1,000 subscribers. I think I have a little more than 1,000 now, so I'm a little late, but thank you to the 1,200 or so of you watching, somewhere around there. I don't know, I try not to focus on the numbers because it's more about the painting, it's more about this, you know, it's more about the connection that comes with it, and it's been great in that regard, which is why I do think of course this is tentative, there's a chance all this changes, but I think I'm leaning towards having this series continue somewhat indefinitely, you know, maybe some changes, but go check this one out over on Instagram. This terrible, terrible sphere. What a way to celebrate 125 and 1,000 subscribers. I mean, this is just like spitting in your guys' faces, probably. This is disgusting. Yeah, go check it out over on the Instagram. And until next time, guys, gals, and pals, my name is Max Dice. This has been Paint Talk episode 125. I'm here every morning, painting and talking with you all.